So, what are some circumstances that you're struggling with at the moment? Or what are areas of your life where you notice yourself kind of having to give yourself your own advice at different times?
Oh, like most of them. No.
Have you had a recent example where you kind of just had a little sit down with M moment and have a chat?
And we need to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, having certain standards for yourself, like, people talk about the word perfectionism, for example. It's a psychology term that we throw around. But really it means having quite high internal standards about who you are and wanting to put across a good face, a good, image to people. Right. And I think, if you experience that, then you also experience quite an inner critical voice. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, pretty much, it's our default brain to have this negativity bias. So we have this kind of critical thinking, critical voice that talks to us. So for me, my biggest challenge, I think, is self-compassion. And trying to pick up when that voice becomes critical and actually, says things to myself that I would never say to someone else.
Mm-hmm. Like what would it say?
You're an idiot. You shouldn't have sent that message. That was a stupid idea. Sometimes you don't even know what those thoughts are. Sometimes it's just a feeling of shame or guilt or something that comes along. So trying to catch those thoughts and trying to create that acceptance of your humanness.
How do we go back into a more compassionate state or a more loving state? Like what do you do in that moment? Yeah. Like when you catch yourself being hard on yourself or self-critical?
Yeah. Well, that's the key. You have to catch yourself.
Yeah.
And most people don't get to that point where they can catch themselves. So mindfulness, being aware of what's going on inside your mind is pretty much the start and the most important part.
Yeah.
And if you have that, you're pretty much already home free.
Uh-huh.
So you need to catch it. And once you've caught it, it's a lot easier then to say, well, is this how I'd like to keep talking to myself? The best question I have that I ask myself is this helpful? Right. Is this helping me to create the life I want? This thought. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. I don't really care. But is it helpful? If it's not helpful, then